Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and we have before us Westwood's Solo Brass Untamed. If you look over here, you can see that I'm a bit of a Westwood fan. I own the violin, viola, cello, and bass Untamed, as well as percussion Untamed, and their upright felt piano. I am not embarrassed by this because they make wonderful sampled instruments. Let's see what the new Solo Brass Untamed is like. Well, full disclosure, they sent me this copy to review. I am not beholden to them in any way, and I've bought all the other things from them as well. So I think you know I'm interested. Well, the Solo Brass Untamed is set up like the String Untamed sessions, and this is a very familiar interface to anyone who owns any of the other ones. Basically, not just an ordinary brass library, but a brass or string, but in this case brass library, that animates each articulation. These tabs down below, the first of which is illuminated Improv A, provide a sample that has a little bit of juice to it, right? You hear the volume and timbre of the horn changing? The original sample is that way. A lower velocity gives me less variation. Middle velocity, perhaps a little bit more. And then finally, high velocity gives me the most variation. I can also control everything with an expression slider. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 improvisations for every instrument. And the instruments that come with this are euphonium, flugelhorn, trombone, trumpet, and tuba. Each of these improvs is sampled chromatically, and there's round robins on each. It's a lot of material. Each note is also sampled with 4 different microphone positions. We have a spot position, that's the S, a close position, that's the C, a room position, which is what we've been listening to, R, and finally, gallery. We have not only individual improvs, but also round robin improvs across each of the A, B, C, and D layers. Every time I hit a stroke, I get a slightly different improv, which is pretty appealing, honestly. When I really spank things, I get a very interesting effect, as opposed to very light. There are a few other wonderful options in the sample sets. Here, we're listening to the euphonium now. Storms is just crazy because when you begin down at the bottom of the expression, you get just a single layer. And as you push up, additional layers come in. Till it gets pretty chaotic. Really great for swells and for those bills and high drama. There are some fairly standard sounds as well for something quite simple like these longs. And a couple of levels of vibrato. And then vibrato fast. Flutter tonguings with mutes. The surges are both wonderful. And and then even harder. I think the shorts are actually pretty useful for almost any songwriting context. And then with mutes, a little brighter. I think that's a Harmon mute as opposed to a bucket mute. The smudges are interesting. I think it might be nice for almost like an effect. And then pops are those things that horn players will do when they're sitting around waiting for the conductor to tell them, oh, what's what. Well, of course, it also has some reverb built in, and we have several different reverbs to use. We could put it in mono, and of course, we can turn off and on key switches. You see the red appear down here, and as I change key switches, I go from one sound to another. That's the euphonium. Let's take a survey of what else is here. Some of the instruments are not as well represented as others. For instance, flugelhorn, which is kind of like a niche trumpet, only has a few of the improvs and the round robins and storms. Trombone and trumpet will also be very useful for arrangers. So let's take a look at the trombones. We've got the full range, and really actually more than in the euphonium. All of the improv, storms, longs and long mutes, including flutters. And then some of them are just terrific. For instance, I was very taken by this soft air sound. Listen to this. That little furry quality on the top, right? We've got falls. Short mutes. Nice. Of course, there's EQ built in, and we have control over attack and tightness. Tightness, how much it's cut into the sample. So this is the bucket mute, and this is the straight mute. We have two different kinds. Well, let's listen to the trumpet as well. Improv round robin. Getting used to this instrument is going to take a while because you can't use it in the way that you just use a conventional library. What you're going for is a certain quality of listening to what's there already and reacting to it as it happens. It's going to be for special case environments where you need that brass support and you need something that has some liveliness. Again, we've got short mutes, two different kinds, the Harmon mute and the cup mute. Oh, super fun. Let's listen to this mute here. Unmeasured tonguing. What does that mean? With a mute. Oh, interesting. Finally, the tuba. And by the way, there are going to be a bunch of multis as well, carefully prepared for our enjoyment. Surges soft in a low tuba tone. That's a beautiful bass drone, isn't it? And then maybe the storm, same deal. Let's try it. This the same fifth. I really hear the room. I wonder what the improvs are like here. That in itself is quite lovely. Sort of animated. Maybe let's a higher velocity. Very dramatic. All right, I promised you multis. Let's take a look at them. And of course, what a multi does is it lays in, 2, 3, 4, who knows how many instances of these instruments panned and set up to create a easy, quick performance. And there are a lot of them. I know that. Let's just try something like this. Classic longs. Who knows what that's going to be? We'll need to replace the existing multi. All right, looks like we've got 4 different instruments kind of all layered one on top of the other. All right, whole chord. It's funny, I didn't see the trombone. Okay, that's better. Yep. So the dynamic slider and the expression slider are different, and frequently we do this with instruments. I have all my Spitfire libraries set up that way with both of them. Replace the multi, get a whole new set of instruments, panned differently, I'm sure. We'll do the same thing here, bring everything up and down. Ooh, that's pretty. Now we can see something's happened here. Soft air, soft mute, and tonguing have been selected by shift clicking. So we have 3 different articulations going on, all balanced out. Down here, just the soft vibrato on the euphonium, and then the tuba. So we know the tuba's there, so let's add a bass note. It responds to pedal. And I can't control, of course, expression when I'm using 2 hands and the sustain pedal, but that was lovely. I suspect that what a lot of people will do is load up a multi that feels like it does the job and just go to town. Oh, that's interesting, very unnatural. And yet it has that brassy goodness. And that sort of wobbly quality. I think the half valve is giving us that in the trumpet. Yeah. There are a number of articulations here that you'd be hard-pressed to find anywhere else. At their worst, sample libraries, are these hollow imitations of the vitality of a live instrumentalist. But what we've got here is a set of libraries that give us a sense of vitality and propulsion, of being in the room with a player. And that's gold. I'm looking forward to putting it into my own arrangements. It's going to be great for the theater work that I do. And some of these multis, I think, are just mysterious enough to sort of integrate into almost any type of production. Many thanks to Westwood for the opportunity to review this library. I hope this has been useful. Like and subscribe and ding the bell. You'll be notified when I do my videos. I'll see you next time.